Have you ever had a migraine headache? If you have, post in the comments what stage of life were you in when you had migraines? What do you do for those migraines? And let's just see kind of what the consensus is. So I never really had migraine headaches until I hit perimenopause, and then it was a debilitating menstrual migraine. And usually it would be on this right side of my head, just kind of in this temple and behind the eye, and it would just throb and throb and throb. And it came out of nowhere. I'd never had migraines before, but perimenopause, those hormonal shifts and stuff really started giving me those menstrual migraines, not every single month, but I had a lot of them until I finally went into complete menopause. But migraines are headaches that can be extremely painful and disruptive to life. In fact, did you know that 12% of the American population, or about 36 million people, suffer with debilitating migraine headaches? So if you break that down even further, it translates into about 1 in 4 households where people suffer with migraines. They end up with loss of work, hundreds of dollars for medical care and prescriptions, and sometimes without long-term relief. The most common symptoms of a migraine are throbbing, this throbbing sensation that usually occurs on one side of the head, which is the way migraines were thought for years and years and years, but actually that's not true. It can occur on both sides at the same time. It can also shift from one side to the other in varying episodes of migraines. You might have sensitivity to light or sound. You might have nausea or vomiting and even diarrhea. This type of headache can last for hours or up to days. And sometimes the pain of a migraine can be so severe that it requires a visit to the emergency room for pain medications and nausea medications. So, migraines can occur, like I said, at any stage of life and can be triggered by stress, menopause, hormonal shifts and balances, foods and additives, sleep disruptions, alcohol, excessive computer use, loud noises, and bright lights. There are actually 4 stages of a migraine. So you don't just wake up with one. You'll usually have like what we call a prodrome. This can start 1 to 2 days before the migraine actually comes on, and it can present with increased yawning, increased thirst, increased urination, stiffness in the neck, food cravings, rapid mood changes, and constipation, which I thought was weird. The next phase is the aura. And this can occur before or during the migraine and can include visual changes like seeing flashing lights or like a tunnel vision. You might see shapes or bright spots of light. You might actually have a loss of vision. You might have trouble speaking. You might have weakness or numbness in the face or on one side of the body. You might have pins and needles in the arms or legs, and you might hear noises that you wouldn't normally hear, like music or other noises. Now, during the headache phase, you have that throbbing or pulsing pain, which is usually on one side of the head, but can be on both. You'll have the nausea, vomiting, not every time, but a lot of people do report that. Blurred vision, a feeling of lightheadedness or fainting, and extreme sensitivity to light, sound, smell, or touch. And then after the headache, you have this condition, this phase called prodrome, and this occurs 24 hours after the migraine. You may still experience sensitivity to light and sound. You may be very fatigued. You may be very moody, and you might have some dizziness and confusion. When I was experiencing menstrual migraines, I did not use any plant medicine at all at the time. It was pre my oils experience, certainly way post cannabis use, because I stopped using cannabis when I was 34. And then way before I started investigating the possibility of plant medicine for different pains and stuff like that. And I don't get my menstrual migraines anymore, obviously, because I'm past that. In fact, I don't get headaches at all, really. But when I was getting the menstrual migraines, my go-to choice was Advil. And it would help, but not all the time. A lot of times it just took laying down and going to sleep. And we're going to talk about what the conventional treatments for migraines are coming up. in the next video, and we're going to eventually bring it around to why cannabis might actually help migraine headaches. It is one of the top 40 approved conditions for a medical cannabis card in the state of Illinois. So if that's you, we might need to talk about that. But if not, go ahead and post in the comments if you've ever struggled with migraines and what you do to help alleviate those migraine headaches. You guys have a great rest of the day and enjoy this cooler weather.